Morning. For today, magde-data filtering tayo. So if you want to learn how to load the data, panoorin niyo yung last video ko. Today we will filter some data. If you're familiar already sa SQL statement, then hindi ka mahihirapan dito. But ipapakita ko lang sa inyo yung version ng ng Python in terms ng pandas. So may data na tayo previously pero modified siya. Naglagay ako ng date para ituro ko sa inyo paano din mag-filter ng date. So kung meron kang kailangang information na specific lang, so kailangan mo siyang i-filter. So for the first demo, gagamit tayo nung mga operators, comparison operator, greater than, less than, greater than or equal, and so on and so forth. So for example, paano ka mag-filter ng data? So for example, meron na tayong variable na data. Then ipi-filter ko siya for example in terms ng salary. For example is lahat ng 50,000 na meron lang salary. So ang ibibigay lang sa'yo, 267 instances. Ito yung mga employee natin na merong 50,000 salary pataas. So pwede mo siyang baguhin. So for example is greater than 50. So again, 267 pa rin. So any valid operator, for example, less than 50, less than or equal, or for example, equality, equal. For example, meron tayong 34,051 kasi nandito na siya. Makikita ko na siya diyan. So, ibig sabihin yan yung eksakto. For example naman, not equal in terms ng 34,051. So, wala kang makikita na instance ng 34,051. So, ganun kadaling mag-filter ng data. Ang pattern natin is yung data mo, data frame ang term. Then data frame, specific column. Ang column natin is salary. Then yung specific filter condition. Okay? So wala tayong magiging problema dyan. So gets nyo na yan. So in terms ng filtering, so meron tayong operator and, or, and not tilde sa Python kapag not. So sample tayo. So data, for example, mag-filter tayo ng department. Concern lang tayo, for example, ang department ko is administration. And, so may end na tayo. So since may end na tayo, it's a good practice na i-group natin siya. So lalagyan ko na siya ng parenthesis. Then data, putulin ko lang dito para makita nyo because I have limited screen lang. So data, salary, for example is from administration. Then, hahanapin ko lang is greater than or equal. By the way, we are using and, strictly administration, and greater than equal to 50,000. So, may error lang tayo dito. So, check lang natin. So, data, department, hindi nag-e-exist. Wrong spelling. We have department. So, yan lang yung pinifilter natin. So, strictly administration and greater than or equal to 500. Yun yung tinatawag natin na and. So, yun yung add natin. Kapag or naman, for example, papalitan natin ng or, single pipe. So, for example, ang need ko is from finance. If you're from finance, so kasama ka na sa filter, or kapag greater than ka pang 50,000 o kaya baguhin natin 60,000, kasama ka pa rin. So, that is or. So, we have 212 instances. So, kung concern mo lang naman is counting, hindi ka concerned dun sa data, so pwede mong sabihin shape 01. If you're concerned only with the number of rows, so ibibigay lang sa 212. Yung shape 1, Pakita ko na rin sa inyo, 6 kasi we have 6 columns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want scalar value only, as to the number of this filter, it's finance or greater than 60,000. So you put shape is equivalent to 0. But if you're concerned with the data itself, so you remove the shape. That's or. So how about this one, not? So we will be using not. So for example, so I will remove this. So this one is data, the not operator. So you put a specific tilde here. It means that we are filtering department not on finance. So you will not see any department here of finance because we are excluding the finance by using a specific tilde. So hope you get it. So any possible combination of and or, my advice is to group it into parentheses. So we're filtering. So we have also filtering in between when we are using a specific range. So for example, data. So we will filter specific salary. For example, we are filtering between. This has a specific range. How about 67,000 to 68,000? We are filtering employees with salary between 67 to 68,000. So we got only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have only 5 employee that has 67 to 68,000 in terms ng salary. So it's very easy. You can also do this by using and statement similar to this. So what is the equivalent of this in terms of and? So I will just comment this. Then I will copy this one. So you can do this greater than or equivalent to 67,000 and you have a data salary. But this is a long form already. Mahaba na yung code. Okay, we group this. But this is just the equivalent of between by using and statement. So we're expecting the same result. But if you're using ranges, you can use this method or you can use the above method. So it's the same. Okay. Then if you're using or, so for example, we filter department. We are using is in. So department, let me edit this one. So we have department dot is in. So this is equivalent to or statement. For example, our department is finance, and for example, we have IT and or facilities. So we're selecting between among finance, IT, and facilities. So that is our filter here. So you will see only the finance, the IT, the finance, the IT, and the facilities. We have 302 data. So instead of using this long method, so you use is in and you use for me, you will use the short method of between. Okay? So use what you like. So this is or again, and this is and. So that will be our result. Okay? So we have 302 data. Then in terms of date, by the way, before I end this one, so we have specific date, but the problem with date For example, so we will filter a specific date. So I will use data.info. So as you can see, we have information about our variable. So the object means this string in Python is an object, but the salary we have integer because this is number. So we will be having a problem in terms of date hired because this is considered as string. So the workaround when you are using date is to convert it into a true date. So how? For example, we have date hired is equivalent to we convert it to date time first before we can filter the specific date hired. So we have errors. So what does this mean? So we will raise an error if the conversion fails. Okay, so let me see the data. So we're just changing the specific date hard into a format that is recognizable as date. As you can see here, we have date time 64 already. Previously, it is an object. Okay, so now we can filter the date. For example, so data and date hired. So if you want to filter employees hired in 2010, greater than 2010, so these are the employees hired greater than 2010. So you can also have the specific date. For example, January 1, 2010 onwards, or for example, May 1. So that is our filter. As you can see, you will not see a date here that is less than those specific date. Okay, I hope this is clear. Okay, I hope this is clear. Then, in terms of string matching, we will use starts with and ends with. So, for example, data, for example, last name dot. So this is a best practice. You convert first the last name instances into lowercase so that because starts with, ends with, and contains is case sensitive. I will convert first the last name into lowercase so that when I use the function of starts with, so it will become easier. So we're finding here last name that starts with BR. So we have here Brown that starts with. So how about, for example, last name that ends with, for example, EN. So we don't have an instance. How about AN? We don't have instance. How about that ends with N? So we have Anderson, Wilson, okay. So how about ON? So we have Anderson and Wilson and Johnson. That ends with. So for contains, it doesn't matter if 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 it's on the start and if it is at the end. If there's an instant of ON, then it will be included. For example, this one, Jones, own of the Johnson, Anderson. So for example, we have AN. Let's see if our last name has AN. Yes, Anderson. Okay. So for example, all instances of last name with letter O. So more. Okay. So importing data. So of course, if you're using Excel, you copy this one. But no, I will teach you how to import this. So for example, we have example query data, for example, of salary of greater than 60,000, and at the same time, I will use between. It's much easier. Salary between 67,000 to 68,000. Okay, so we will have this result, but instead of copy pasting this one, you convert to CSV and specific file name, for example, salary.csv. So what we are doing here is importing it so that we don't have to copy and paste it anymore. So this is data. So salary.csv. So we're importing this to CSV. So I'm expecting that the salary will be saved here because I'm importing to CSV salary.csv. Here we go. So if you download this, let's download this salary. So this one are the filtered information. So we have this. You can send it to an email, give it to someone because this is already our filtered salary. Okay. So everything is valid. For example, let's see about this finance. For example, not in finance to CSV, for example, x.csv. So I'm importing this. This is the XCSV. Okay. So I'll download this. Then you have the instances wherein the department has no finance in it because we excluded all finance. Okay. So that is how you filter using the pandas library. So until next video, thank you very much.